Call the meeting to order. It is 9 o'clock. Apparently our clock is off on the wall. Before we start, we're going to add 3 people to get us a quorum this morning. We're going to have Mr. Friel, Mr. Olson, and Mr. Hudson. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen. Mr. Sheeline is online. We've got a couple people obviously absent, so we'll get started with the meeting. We'll call everything to order. Want to call the roll, please?
Sure, absolutely. So we got Jim Sheeline on Zoom. Mike Book is absent. Tom Kitson.
Present.
Larry Mimini.
Here.
Tim Bivens is absent. Nancy Naylor.
Present.
Bob Olson.
Here.
Dean Friel.
Here.
Keen Hudson.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, visitors. Paul, anything other than what's on the agenda?
No, just what's on the agenda.
Okay, Reed?
Nope.
Kevin?
Nothing, sir.
Nancy? Michael?
No, sir.
Patty? There.
Just what's on the agenda.
Okay, okay. We're
Nothing.
moving right along here without even asking. Amy?
On the agenda, I think.
Okay. Good enough.
Whoa.
That was quick. We already had a chance to look at the minutes. If there's no corrections or additions, they'll stand as read. Okay, hearing none, they'll stand as read. Treasurer's monthly financial report.
Okay, so you guys should have the file in front of you. I'll just hit some highlights. Obviously, this is December, so first month of the year. Probably the thing I'd look at is our cash balances year over year are slightly down in the county general compared to last year. And slightly, I mean by about 400,000 or 500,000. And that is the liability check we wrote to CIRMA. Last year, we wrote it in January, February timeframe. This year, we wrote it in December. So, you know, basically, we're down that amount. The other thing I would point out is your revenue and expenses. It doesn't look good the first month coming out of the chute, but it's mainly because December is a bad month for expenses. You have 3 different pay periods in December. You also have some one-time pay period items that hit. And then your revenues are light in December as compared to other months in the year. And then the last thing I was going to point out was one of the last sheets you get is the different taxes and incomes that come in. And I just wanted to point out as we got through the year, so for your income tax year over year, we were actually down 5.37%. And I actually probably expect with PPRT going to be down 30% this year, that might show another 5 to 10% total down year over year. Sales tax though is up, not as much as the deficit in the income tax, but it is bringing in a higher value. So that's a good thing on the sales tax side. So that's really it for what's going on right now.
Okay. Any questions for Paul? Okay. Quarterly financial report?
That'll
be, yeah.
That'll be in a couple months because we
Right.
just did it last month.
We don't have to vote to accept that, do we? Okay, insurance committee.
The insurance committee will meet again in February, so I do not have a report. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Anything from Gradco?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Jeremy, administrator report?
Yes, good morning, everybody. A few things just to go over here. Quickly, Wendy and Dee's retirement party is going to be postponed just with the incoming storm tomorrow. Talking with Wendy and Dee, we want to make sure that everybody can travel safe and that we have the turnout that we want to celebrate them. So I did speak with Salamandra, and they're good with picking a new date. We have not done that yet. So I will be sending out a notification to everybody today that there will be, we will be rescheduling with the new date once I get that locked in. So just, again, just wanted to give everybody a heads up. I know we were excited to go, celebrate with them tomorrow, but we will have to postpone that a little bit. Just for an informational piece, we did receive a $381,186 $1.74 invoice from Allied Facility Partners, which is our HVAC project across the street. Those funds are already allocated and approved by the board to go through ARPA. Speaking with, Member Wilson from the facilities meeting, we were actually going to discuss this there, but that was canceled. Just as a highlight that, hey, we did get an invoice. This is for a lot of the preparation work that they are doing right now. I will be sending it to Sarah, later today. I just wanted everybody to be aware before I sent that off that, hey, there is a $381,000 invoice that will be going to ARPA. So we should start we'll be tracking this a little bit more closely as the invoices come in, but we just want to keep everybody in the loop on where things are at and make sure that we're transparent. Other than that, we are working on a handful of grants right now that are, have a January deadline. One is the BRIC grant, which is our updated code grant, building code grant that we're working through to actually implement. That's going to be a multi-year process. In the near future, we will be coming to facilities, with a grant match. We don't have to do that now because this won't be something that we're actually knowing if we're going to receive or not until later on in the year. And it's going to be closer to like $33,000-ish that we'll be looking at a actual cash grant match. The rest is going to be in kind through labor and payroll. So that's going to be great. The other one is our RAISE grant. So we're reapplying for that this year. There is, a partial match on our side as well. Greg Gates and I are still working through that process to figure out what that will look like, but we'll be coming to, finance again with that update and just to understand what the grant match is and get that approval. And then last but not least, regarding tourism, right now, Visit Lee County, Discover Dixon, who is our tourism partner right now. They're working through the grant that we won last year. It's $90,000 plus the MOU. So they're utilizing the funds we have now to process and work through the current grant project. There is a new marketing partnership grant that is due very soon, and they're working on that again with us in partnership. It's going to be a smaller amount, and what we're going to essentially use is, unless we decide otherwise down the road, but one of our, our November payment to Discover Dixon as our marketing, agency. They're actually going to use that as our grant match because it's outside of their actual budget year. So it's going to be a smaller grant, but it's going to continue to push forward what we're trying to do. So we're working closely with them on that. But otherwise, I just kind of wanted to give you a quick update on some of the finances and where we're at and what you can be seeing down the pipeline. Any questions? Great.
Okay. Thank you, Jeremy. Joseph Meyer resolutions, do we have any or not, Nancy?
No.
Nothing there? Okay, we've got no unfinished business. Oh, I'm sorry, we skipped ARPA. Sorry, ladies.
Good morning. Patty and I just have a quarterly update for ARPA. Our report is in your packet. So we have our report, one page, and then the spreadsheet of expenses so far on page 2. We've had one expenditure this quarter, which was the engineering development for the HVAC project. As far as the amount left that we have is $2,823,827.57. We need to allocate that before the end of the year, before December 31st, 2024. Allocate or obligate is the term that the Treasury uses. It sounds like we're working on doing that with the HVAC project. Patty and I will need some sort of formal approval from the committee and from the board to use those funds to pay that invoice too. I don't know if that's formally went through.
Yeah, we do not have a board action request form for that yet. It hasn't been approved by the board.
So,
by finance or by.
We'll have to get on that then and get that to you soon.
Okay. And then we also have the breakdown, sticking with those categories that the ARPA committee looked at early on, as far as general requests, small business, community service agencies, business and economic development, and capital projects. We continue to break those projects down as to what category they fall in. So after we've expended all of the ARPA funds, we can kind of look at how much went to each category. Patty and I have our annual ARPA report due to Treasury. We will work on that in April. And other than that, we will have another quarterly report to Finance in April. And just an update, Patty and I still continue to, keep up to date on ARPA stuff. I attended a webinar yesterday just with some reporting requirements. We're still having some invoices come in on some of those approved projects that are just taking some time to complete, and those invoices are coming in. So we still have quite a bit on the ARPA end, even though we don't have the ARPA committee. We're not here presenting to you every month, but we're available if anybody has any questions, concerns about anything, please reach out to us. Thank
Any
you.
questions today?
Quickly, so the board, finance committee and the board did approve the HVAC project being, the ARPA funds being used
No.
for that?
No, they did not. They approved the engineering part of it, but that's all that's been approved by the board so far.
The engineering study.
Okay, we'll have to revisit that.
So we'll
What was approved was to go ahead with the HVAC project, not to exceed 4.5 million. But what we need now, and they're pointing out, is now we need the formal board action request form from finance and the board to say, of that 2.8 million, I think all of it, right, or some portion thereof, needs to be appropriated to that project to then go ahead and call it obligated, if you will, to that project.
Is there any other invoices to come in on ARPA yet? So in other words, if we clean that up, we'll clean up the total amount for this project? Or do you want us to save something back for some invoices?
So we will do a cleanup. We discussed this probably spring, maybe
Okay.
April, May, as
Alright.
far as once approved projects get completed, and if they don't end up using all of those funds and we've got some left over. So we're looking at a cleanup doing probably spring, so then the exact amount that we're looking at that we've got remaining, so we can make sure we obligate that by 2024.
Yeah, and I think you would want to hold back a very slight little bit.
50,000 or something, or?
Something just so that you're covered for any
Something like-
contingency.
Yep. So we'll put a request in and we'll leave something back. I'll get with Paul and we'll
Yeah.
figure
We
something
don't
out.
need to do that today.
Correct.
so. Okay. Any more questions?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're good.
Okay.
No, my
Then we went through the
resolution's unfinished.
unfinished, new business, we have nothing for executive. Clay, have you got anything? Didn't want to miss you. Mr. Sheeline, you have any comments you'd like to make?
No, everything, it was a light agenda for this morning and I appreciate the guys stepping up and reconstituting the finance committee this morning. So appreciate that.
Okay, does anybody have any other business? If not, we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Move.
Nancy made the motion, Keene second.
Sir, I do have something I would like. That's okay.
I'm
I
sorry.
just didn't know how this was going to go today since we missed Tuesday. So I didn't want to,
Sorry, I didn't know how I was going to go
But I
either. when
don't
got a
wanna be
phone call
forgotten.
this
It's-
morning. I wasn't sure how to go either, so.
thank you. It's kind of important. So the Circuit Clerk's Office submitted the funding request to the AOIC for the Court Technology Grant for a total amount of $1,056,378.66. The AOIC is going to approve or deny it, make modifications, and then we'll notify the chief judge and the county treasurer. Our request was substantially higher this year than the last couple of years. We put in there for a new courtroom, many things. So we worked very hard on getting that put in early because it is a first come, first served basis. So we got that put in. They got everything. I found out yesterday. They just had a few questions and we answered those and it's sent off to the review committee. So on that note, also, we're still in the process of getting quotes from vendors for a new case management system. That did not get in there due to the holidays and vacations and everything. And this isn't a process that you can really push through fast. We did all the demonstrations. We liked a few things, but the quotes aren't just there yet. Also, on that note, I am visiting other courthouses who have those systems. I've already visited Lake County. They have Journal. They've been up and running about 2 months. I was very impressed with that system. They have 42 judges, so I sat in about 6-8 courtrooms that day. So it was I really like that system. I think that's going to open up my eyes, our eyes, as a courthouse as a whole, with the judges, the state's attorneys on what we want. So I'm still in that process, and I'm going to be going to Peoria County and LaSalle County here in the near future to see their systems up and running. So that's what I wanted to let you know. Any questions?
When will you hear back on the grant? When will you?
I just heard yesterday Carroll County got approved already. So, yeah, that was quick. They're saying by March, but I think we got around February, March is where I think we're going to hear for sure.
Great. All right. Thank you.
You're
Any other
welcome.
questions? Anything else we need to cover that's not been covered? Okay, we'll go back.
Thank
to-
you.
Ms. Naylor made a motion to adjourn. Mr. Hudson seconded it. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Okay.